Well, welcome. We call to order the City of Travelers Rest Council meeting for Thursday, November the 21st. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. If you will please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Put your hand up. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we will please ask Councilmember Baumgartner, please pray for council.
Father God, we come to you tonight thankful that we are able to represent the citizens of Travelers Rest. Help us as council members to be the best that we can be for the city. Father, we ask you to bless the city, all the residents within our city. Bless us as council people to rule truthfully and fairly. Jesus, we thank you for your son. In your name, amen.
Thank you, Grant. Okay, great. First, we have up for approval of our council committee meeting minutes from October the 17th. Do I hear a motion?
Motion.
Okay, motion from Wayne. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Sherry. Any edits, questions? All in favor? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. And I'd like to make a motion. We have left off the Personnel Committee report for tonight, so I'd like to make a motion to add our Personnel Committee report to the agenda item 6, letter E. You've heard that motion. You have a second from Grant? Okay. Any questions? All in favor? Thank you. Shanice, you'll do that in a little bit. All right, citizen participation. We have Mr. Scott Kennedy, if you'd like to come speak to council on the Trailblazer Park track parking. Nice to see you again.
Thank you.
You have 5 minutes. We
All
appreciate you
right.
being here.
Thank you for the opportunity. A couple months ago, we just live right around the corner. A couple months ago, I noticed at the field up here on the top level, not the bottom level, they were having a football practice. And they have practices and they have games. And I noticed that people were parking on the grass between the track and the fence. And I called the Greenville Park Department and I said, is that acceptable? And they said, no, they're not supposed to do that. I said, well, can you do something about it? And he said, well, I will talk to the heads of the sports leagues and see if we can't get them to cooperate. But they said, we deal with this all the time. It's just an ongoing thing. I said, okay. So about a month went by. I thought I'd let the trickle down. Hopefully things would change, but it kept happening. So about a month later, I went out there and I took some photos, and I'll just
Yeah,
pass
please,
them on
thank you.
to
Thanks, Scott.
Multiple vehicles up there, trucks, trailers. They were parking on the grass, they were parking on the track, and there was one truck that had pulled around to the side, and you could see where the track was starting to fall apart. And I'm not saying he ran into it or, drove over it, but you could see what's happened. There's deterioration. And so I grabbed a coach, and I said, hey, coach, I love what you're doing here. I'm all for sports and all this, and you're doing a great job, but I'm just going to ask one favor. I said, could you not park up here? I said, it's against the rules, and I come and run on the track, and I see these young kids come and do events on the track. They got track meets out here. I said, the track is in bad shape, and I don't think anybody's going to spend any money to fix the thing, and it's just going to deteriorate if we keep abusing it like this. I said, it's not like you throw a brick through a window and you see it crash. I said, this is ongoing damage that's happening every time you drive on it. I said, on top of that, there's just an issue of safety. You're coming up here in a place where you're not supposed to be coming. So he said he would talk to the other coaches, but I went there the next night and they were back there again. And I watched, they were really careful as they would drive up onto the track. You could tell that they were being, aware, but there's a little girl riding her bike around and the adults were walking, and I thought, this is not where you're supposed to be with your big trucks. And so I walked by the coach and I said, Coach, I'm really disappointed. And he said, look, I got a lot of things to carry up here, and the track has been this way for a long time. I said, yeah, but it's going to deteriorate even faster. So that was the end of that. About a week later, I noticed on one of the signs at the park, it said, under the jurisdiction of TR Police Department. I thought, hey, great. So I called the police department and talked with Captain Kobler. And I said, can you do anything? Go down and just ask him to leave? They said, well, there's no legal way we can enforce this. There's no ordinance that we can enforce. We can put up some more signs, and I said, I don't think signs is gonna do it. There's signs up already, and I talked with this coach, and so that's what I'm here tonight asking. If an ordinance could be passed to give teeth to these rules, I mean, there's, on the county website, just for the parks, there's this many rules. And I don't know if some fall under a jurisdiction like don't bring drugs and firearms. That's probably illegal, so that's probably covered. But to me, it just makes sense that if there's rules, I mean, I get it. There's some rules that you're just saying, hey, you know, let's be nice. Pick up your dog poop. How are you going to get somebody that doesn't pick up their dog poop? I don't know. But this is an issue that I think crosses the line in terms of safety, damage to property. It's not that many people that are doing it, you know, maybe 7 or 8 trucks, but it's something that I think needs to get some teeth in it. So if somebody can just come and say, look, we're not looking to fine you a couple of $100, just please carry this stuff. If you've got to carry it, you're a big strapping young guy, I mean, come on, I could carry it. So that's my request, is that there could be some kind of a legal teeth ordinance that could be put into place so that the police could go up and say, hey, guys, this is illegal. You know, we ask you to move your trucks, comply. Without that, it's just, they're taking advantage of us.
Thank you so much.
Be fair to say that there's plenty of parking.
Yeah, and
Well, there's plenty of parking, yeah.
And also, Mr. Kennedy, I think you mentioned this, but that is under Greenville County, so Greenville County Rec. So we can just talk with them and see if we can make a better plan together. I know you started with the coaches, but maybe
Well, and that's when I saw the TR
yeah.
had jurisdiction, I
Yeah.
thought, well, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Does that mean that TR?
That means like our police department, like legally, but like
But it's
Captain
got to be
Kobler
somebody
was
else's
saying,
role.
yeah.
Well, then the other thing I saw was that there's talk about maybe swapping properties, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
this will become TR owned. So then we're ahead of the ball game if we got laws in place.
No, we appreciate you coming. We'll definitely put it on our list to
Just a
talk to
good
County
mention,
Rec.
the soccer team, we saw an event that was like crazy. They had the entire parking lot filled. There wasn't a single vehicle up there. So I mean, the soccer folks, they were complying.
Go soccer!
Not to pick on football people. I mean, that's-
All right, football guys, we got to up our game. Thank you so much, Mr. Kinney. We'll get with Philip and our team to meet with County Rec and just talk to it. Safety is definitely a big concern.
Do something about it.
All right, thank you so much. Now we will move into ordinances and resolutions for second reading. We have none. And next we will talk about our committee reports. I know we just have a few guests, but as a reminder, last week we had our committee meetings, and so this will be more of a summary of what we talked about last week. We will start with our Public Works Chair Lane.
The Public Works Committee met November 12th and approved the October 7th minutes. Director Tate is currently accepting bids for debris cleanup on city-owned streets. 11 trees on Main Street will need to be replaced. Director Tate and Director Martin will work together to select the types of trees. The city held a successful glass recycling event where 6,000 pounds of glass was collected. The rescheduled shred event will take place on December 7th from 9 a.m. to noon. And then Christmas decorations are beginning to go up. The TR Garden Club is assisting with the downtown decorations, and the Mountain Laurel Garden Club refreshed the gazebo planters. So thank you.
Thank you, Chair Lane. Public Safety Committee, Chair Byers.
The Public Safety Committee met on November 12th and approved the October 7th minutes. The committee reviewed the following from the October public safety reports. For police, Chief Ford noted that there was a 200% increase in motor collisions with injury for the month, but year-over-year numbers are down 25%. Officer Jacob Grogan started this month. Corporal Harrelson and Officer Barksdale were recognized by the TR Police and Fire Foundation. Officer Kraft gave a presentation on a license plate reader system. For fire, Assistant Fire Chief McMakin noted that the call volume for the month was normal, but many calls are EMS with long wait times for ambulances. And the Police and Fire Foundation recognized Chief Robertson and Firefighter Scott. For building, Administrator Herman noted that building is slow this month, but should pick up after the first of the year.
Thank you, Kelly. Next, we have Planning and Development Chair Vest.
All right, the Planning and Development Committee met on November 12th and approved the October 7 minutes. Hemlock Park needs a site plan approval for multifamily portion. We also are seeing a lot of land clearing on the refuge development. We continue to move forward on the Dicey Children's Garden as the initial concept plans are in place. And then finally, Greenville County is in the process of accepting their Unified Development Ordinance, which is inside of our zoning ordinance, where we reference land development regulations. Our plan moving forward will be where it says LDR to replace with UDO until we can make that change in our ordinance.
Very much. Ways and Means Committee Chair Baumgartner.
The Ways and Means Committee met November 12th and approved the October 11th meeting minutes. Everyone received the October 2024 financial update. That was in our packet this week. Does anybody have any questions regarding that financial? All right. We also discussed ordinance O-11-24 to adopt fiscal year 2025 general fund budget amendment, and which was approved to go on to full council. That ends my report.
Thank you, Baumgartner. Personnel Committee Chair Chris.
The Personnel Committee met on November 12th and went into executive session to discuss employment, compensation, and appointment agreement for the fire chief position. No vote was taken while in executive session.
Now we move to our ordinances and resolutions for first reading. We have our general fund budget amendment. Chair Baumgartner.
I make a motion to consider an ordinance coming out of the Ways and Means Committee 0-11-24 to adopt the fiscal year 2025 general fund budget amendment that was included in our packet that we received yesterday.
Okay, you've heard that motion. We have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a second. Open it up for discussion. Give us a summary.
Actually, I'm going to ask Shannon, do you have a bit of an overview you'd like to give us?
Sure. Councilmember Baumgartner, thank you very much. Yes, so we just had a small error to correct in that in our initial budget, we had a $30,000 revenue line item for the capital lease, and we neglected to delete that from the capital lease funds. So we needed to correct that error. That does not impact our project list in the capital lease funds because we were able to get quotes for the vehicles for a lesser amount. And overall, what this is going to do is decrease the entire expenditure request by about $4,000 and decrease the entire budget number by about $34,000.
And so we don't need an amendment because we just brought it from committee. So this is our first reading, so it's good as it is. Just
You,
confirming.
Mayor Amiron, you will need an amendment because it's been published as this, so we
Okay.
will need to amend it so that when it rolls forth to second reading, it's as amended.
Okay, so we need a motion. I'm sorry, open up for more
Oh.
discussion first. Sorry, you go for it. Yeah.
Anybody else have any discussion on that? I do have a little bit. I am going to thank, many thanks to Shannon and Carson. As I remind council, this budget amendment is resolving a few bookkeeping discrepancies. In addition, this amendment funds some one-time purchases with the remainder of our capital lease funds, which include vehicle purchases for our Public Works Department, our Fire Department, and the Police Department, which is increasing our fleet, a Public Works generator, and a license plate reader cameras for the Police Department, as well as a few other things. These budget changes, as we're making these, because we are presenting a newly adjusted revenue figures based on the actual income figures from last year. What that means is all the newly added expenses are fully covered from growth in our revenues from the actual prior fiscal year 2024 figures, which has given us the general fund and excess. If we keep the included reoccurring expenses that are a part of this budget in the coming years, those will still be covered even if there is no increase in revenues. And it's because this is based on the revenues from last year, the actual revenues that Shannon has now been able to determine exactly what those are. So this is a great problem to have. That being said, does anyone have any questions now also? And I would make a motion to amend the ordinance as presented to include the refigured numbers as Shannon has presented them in our redefined amendment.
Second.
All right, we have motion, second by Brantley Vest. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor? Okay. Now we need a motion to approve the original, okay. For full vote. Okay, you're right, okay, gotcha. So, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, general fund budget amendment? Your motion carries. Thank you for that. I appreciate all the hard work and making the numbers just get it together. We really appreciate it. And all good things. I appreciate the time and effort that you went to talking with the staff to make sure that we put that money to good use. All right, old business, we have none. New business, we have a resolution for our fire chief appointment agreement. We have Chair Chris.
I make a motion to consider Resolution R0524, Fire Chief Appointment Agreement.
All right,
There's, oh, go ahead. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so a brief overview of this. So exciting. The resolution appoints Assistant Chief James E. McMacken to Acting Fire Chief on December 1st, 2024, upon the retirement of Fire Chief Greg Roberson on December 31st, 2024. James E. McMacken, or Mac, will become Fire Chief. So this is open for discussion.
Any questions? Discussion? All right, all in favor? Motion carries. Woo. Mac, we so appreciate you becoming our fire chief. You guys have been a great team together. Greg, you've done a great job fulfilling all your duties and requirements. We'll brag on you later, but just thanks for taking care of us between the two of you. You've done a great job, and Mac, you're it. So we appreciate it. Thank you for all that you do. All that you do. You have 100% of voted council, so thank you. All right, miscellaneous matters. We have our administrative update from our city administrator.
Thank you, Mayor Almadon. Last committee meeting, we presented our strategic plan as part of the budget amendment. Due to timing and the length of that meeting, I flew through the beginning portions of it, and Mayor Almadon asked if I wouldn't mind kind of backing up a little bit and going through some of the strategic plan that we've been working on as a team. So with your permission, I'd like to spend a few minutes kind of running through that. When I came in, I identified that we had, several department heads and decided that it would be best if we could operate as an executive leadership team that meets monthly to discuss the opportunities and challenges at hand. But coming in, it was vital that we identified this team, and I identified where everyone saw our current strengths and weaknesses so that we could begin working forward. So the members of the team are myself and Carson. Greg Robertson is fire chief, but who graciously asked Mac to sit with us as we knew that Greg would be retiring soon. Jay Martin as planning director, Benjamin Ford as police chief, and Philip Tate as public works director. Here's just a brief picture of our org chart. It is getting, quite built out here, and which is really good, and we can begin to sophisticate in a lot of these departments and divisions in particular. We identified our role as the executive team to identify problems, look for solutions, to unify the various departments together, and to empower each of our city employees to act independently through a common mission and value system. We took the Strengths Finders test as a team. That was a really fun day. Unfortunately, Chief Robertson wasn't able to participate, but we're all dying to know what his report would have said.
He has so many strengths, you couldn't list them all.
He was busy, and you're right, absolutely. But, this was a really fun exercise and a good team building. And what I think is great to see the reflection here is the various skills that come to the table. And Jay, our planning director, was very high in the strategic thinking, so this is excellent. Current successes that were identified very early on, this was one of our first meetings, were the connection between police and fire departments. And coming from working in this world in great depth across the county, I can tell you that there is no such allegiance like this across the county. This is a model to be repeated and just a great success. Pay scale has certainly improved over time. We need to be sure not to fall behind here. And technology has improved, and it was important to the team to not lose momentum here as well. Immediate challenges were identified as capital replacement plans. Staffing, recruitment, and retention is probably our number one that we focus on, and particularly police is at a strategic growth discussion. Also, we didn't have a cohesive procurement policy and department in hand, so that's something that we're going to work on underneath Carson. Long-term boulders, these are kind of the big picture initiatives. Recruitment, new facilities are currently already at capacity, so how do we build out? I'll give you an example here. Our records and retention room is already full to capacity, and we're looking for floor space. In lieu of opening up floor space, we're going to bring in a digitization platform here, and that was part of the budget amendment that you are considering right now. Growth, roads, fire, and police demand are always going to be at the forefront here. And then economic development is how we, healthily continue to address and maintain the services that are at hand and grow when as needed. Just interesting, to watch the growth of the city. Certainly when Furman, came aboard, we grew, but we've grown exponentially outside of that as well. So we're on a forward growth path, and obviously, we get calls daily, what's available in TR, both commercial and residential. So it's a hot demand city, which is great, makes it very exciting and a fun job here. We did a SWOT analysis, city strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats as a team, and basically came out with, we are a community with a strong identity, safety, engagement, and professional resources. We leverage our strengths through marketing and strategic planning to enhance the community's appeal and resilience, and we need to look to address challenges in housing, staffing, and communication with partnerships, grant funding, and strategic planning. We reminded ourselves of Council's core values of smart growth, art and culture, small town character, and connectivity as displayed in your planning documents. And we use these to begin crafting a vision and a mission. Our vision statement is to inspire active community engagement, exceptional livability, and visionary development through excellent, reliable public services and outstanding city infrastructure. As part of this exercise, we identified our staff values as excellence, service, trustworthiness, and reliability, and our goals to be cutting edge, responsive, empathetic, and fiscally responsible. We kind of sum this up with excellence of service. And we're going to be repeating that, and it will be displayed, throughout our operations going forward. And that led us to our operational mission statement, the relentless pursuit of excellence in public service rooted in our core values and service goals to develop and maintain the confidence of community members while remaining cutting edge and responsive to community needs. This is our operational plan and mission statement. In this vein, we worked on putting together key initiatives in response to Council's core values and also the goal setting retreat that we had. You identified in your goal setting retreat objectives the beautification and development of Main Street, including crosswalks, the completion of the Poinsett Center Street streetscape plan, we're on target there, business recruitment, parks and recreation, gateways, branding, and public art, mixed income, mixed use development, and youth development in connection to Furman University as your 7 objectives moving forward. We put these into a strategic plan that has us focusing on a strong live, work, play sense of community, connectivity, economic development, robust city-sponsored activities and recreation, public safety, and environment and sustainability as our key initiatives. We put action plans behind each of these initiatives, placemaking and placekeeping. I thought this was a really important word that Jay Martin helped us identify after a meeting with Warren Willis, talking about who developed TR originally and making sure that we keep the things that began TR as part of TR and that the placemaking doesn't outset what we originally were. Economic development, attracting commerce and accommodations, creating a geometric central business district with the North Poinsett and Center Street road improvements, taking on city recreation facilities, and enhancing and supporting downtown merchants in the TR Chamber of Commerce under our strong live, work, and play sense of community. For connectivity, our actions are the North Poinsett Highway Improvement Project, Center Street paving and improvements, which are mostly complete at this point, Main Street pedestrian and bicycle crossings, pedestrian connection across Highway 25, that's a long one, and downtown parking. Economic development actions include create a vibrant and connected central business district, utilize Highway 25 for balanced economic development, revitalize and support Main Street businesses, enhance multimodal transportation connections, promote tourism and cultural activities, and encourage sustainable and integrated development. Under robust city-sponsored activities, we plan to update branding and establish a TRDMO, direct marketing organization. This is to market the events and the happenings of TR. Continual beautification of downtown, including public art installations. We have a very new, exciting program with metal rabbits that will be located throughout town, and it's going to be followed up with a scavenger hunt that can be located on our website as something to do and a way of displaying what's going on in TR in a fun way. Signature Travelers Rest event. There's a group of merchants that's working on this right now, and connecting Trailblazer Park to downtown and building out a Dicey Langston Park. Under public safety, we look to ensure individual and community safety, reduce crime, enhance public safety workforce retention and recruitment, encourage prevention and awareness, provide quality infrastructure using the best practice design standards and code enforcements, protect investment through permitting, inspections, and code enforcement activities, humanely respond to any aggressive or feral animal disturbances or needs, and increase emergency preparedness and disaster response capabilities. And finally, under environment and sustainability, to grow the current tree canopy using best practices from leading southeast cities, utilize the riparian buffer for potential natural trails throughout the city. This is a new and exciting thought that Jay brought to us. Connect all residents and businesses to nature and amenities within the city. We believe this will help us not become a suburb or a suburb of Greenville, but to maintain our sense of place and identity, and to promote green spaces and conservation efforts when possible. After doing a detailed market analysis, we identified 4 major economic drivers, and that would be retail, service industry, and by service industry, we're highly focused on health and education, which are, by the way, the fastest growing sectors of the economy in South Carolina. Manufacturing, and we have a fantastic manufacturing skill set base living in our city, and tourism. I won't get into all the details here, but we will print this out and bind it for you when we print out the new budget document once it's finally approved. Under planning, and each of our divisions did a strategic plan as well. So for planning and development, we're focused on streamlining the development process to maintain integrity and accountability within the process. Update and revising the zoning ordinance where appropriate to benefit the intent of the ordinance and to meet the demands of development. Work with the development industry to meet the vision and mission of Travelers Rest Community. Coordinate with utility providers to determine infrastructure growth needs, maintain the delicate balance between commercial and residential growth, and small town Main Street and commercial corridors. Continue to build the connectivity within the community with a focus on safely separating pedestrians, cyclists, and vehicles. And by the way, this was a major concern of our youth council. They talked a lot about this one. Maintaining the use of riparian buffers to develop a system of trails connecting residents to commerce, fitness, and nature. Determine Travelers Rest's role in the riparian buffer protection, floodplain management, and stormwater management. Set goals and strategies to maintain, protect, control, and grow the tree canopy. Develop strategies to benefit economic growth on Poinsett Street as construction begins, and determine the best plan and strategy to connect City Hall and Trailblazer Park with Main Street. This is something that's in response to meeting with the downtown merchants who feel like there's a lack of connection between the activities that take place at Trailblazer Park naturally flowing into the Main Street. Determine appropriate uses, operations, and maintenance of park properties currently being held by Greenville County, and coordinate with Public Works, Fire Protection, and Police Services to maintain a healthy, sustainable, and safe community as we continue to grow. And I will tell you that from the onset, Director Martin has been meeting with both fire and police for any plans that are brought to him for initial comment. This streamlines the permitting process and ensures that we've really looked at from the very beginning all the concerns that could come to table in that regard. Public Works, Philip and his team did a fantastic job developing a strategic plan focused on street maintenance, facility maintenance, replacing street signs. Sorry, these are the divisions and the operations that fall under Public Works: street maintenance, facilities maintenance, replacing street signs, special events management, emergency preparedness, risk management, and any park maintenance. His team goals were to ensure that all Public Works employees have a healthy, safe, and secure workplace, they can achieve a high level of customer service and satisfaction, ensure and enhance the quality of life for all residents by implementing proactive programs to improve city right-of-way, park, and open spaces, operate, maintain, and improve city streets, develop and maintain an exceptional, qualified, and well-trained staff to carry out the department's mission, ensure activities provide the best results and benefits for our residents through strict budgeting and fiscal responsibility, proactively comply with or exceed all environmental and quality standards in the areas of stormwater and air quality, promote a vibrant first-rate park and trail system with aesthetically pleasing and environmentally sensitive designs and maintenance practices, repair and maintain the city's facilities to ensure a sustainable work environment, and develop a well-rounded succession plan to ensure institutional knowledge is retained. You can see his departmental values have been built out as well. Police Department, strategic plan, and this was updated. They've had a strategic plan in place, but they're really focused on building strong community relations, achieving South Carolina State Law Enforcement accreditation, which I believe we're getting very close to now. Thank you to Teresa Engelhardt. Reducing crime and the fear of crime, building a diverse workforce that mirrors the community, and developing and empowering personnel. They also completed a SWOT analysis as part of their strategic planning. The fire department, we did put in here a recruitment slide on a recruitment and retention plan for police department, as this is one of our primary focus. Captain Kelly did meet with you all a few months back and explained that law enforcement in general is struggling to recruit quality. So these are some of the efforts in place in regards to meeting these demands. A recruitment and retention team has been identified. We're working on the new vehicles through the budget amendment. One of the requests has been to have some specialized response teams. This is fun training for the guys and gals who serve with us, and also can meet some of the specific needs of Travelers Rest, which probably fall largely into the traffic calming and also stopping the drug trade flying through here. And then also Officer Kraft developed some new badges that we will be purchasing if the new budget amendment is completed. Travelers Rest Fire Department strategic plan, maintain fire safety community designation, have an instructor for Class E, and fire instructor for 2 for personnel, at least 1 EMT per shift, and increasing staffing to 6 people per shift. You can see their call volume growth over the past few years, pretty significant there. And then a few of their needed acquisitions that have been planned for in this plan going forward. And when I print all of this out for you, you'll see their entire plans printed in there, so you can go through them in depth. This is creating one slide per department. So, and then just kind of finally ending on some of the accomplishments that we've had as an executive team since my beginning here in March. Any questions, comments?
So much for taking time for that. I know last time we were focused on the budget side of this, but this felt so meaty, and I know you guys all from a leadership standpoint did a ton of work to kind of put this together, so I appreciate it. Any questions, comments?
I do. So I know you're going to print out a copy, but can I have a PDF version of this PowerPoint slide?
Absolutely.
This is awesome.
Oh, thank
Great
you.
job, everybody.
Yeah, I want to thank staff now at this time too, because to carve out, we have homework assignments before the meetings, and then to carve out an hour where we think strategically instead of reactively of whatever the day has brought to us or the week. It really is time consuming, and I very much appreciate the thoughtfulness. Also, as a new administrator, I couldn't possibly come in and do a great job without the insight to what has been working and what have been challenges in the past to help set priorities. So thank you. Thank you to everyone.
Yeah, and I want to thank the department heads because you have helped put this together, but the department heads who have been here now have just married right into this and are very accepting of it, and I appreciate that from our department heads. And to hear you say that the relationship between our police department and our fire department is a special one. Those of us that have been here may not, I haven't seen it that way because that's just how it's been, but you coming in and seeing differently, I just kudos to all of our department heads for what they're doing.
And anything else to update us from the city administrator report?
Not at this time, thank you.
Okay, great. All right, do we have anything for the good of council? I did want to mention thank yous for our employee appreciation party that we had. Was that last Friday night? You guys did a great job of planning. Appreciate everyone coming out to it. It was super fun, and I could tell that you guys were very thoughtful about every detail that went into it. So I think the bouncy houses are a must going forward. Never take that away. Does anyone else have anything for the good of council?
Motion to adjourn?
Second? All right, all in favor? Great. Thank you so much. You got it.